Welcome to 180 U-Turn, the talk show that features some of the greatest conversion stories of our time. Stories of men and women who are on the highway to hell when they encountered a Damascus Road experience that completely turned their lives around. Hello everyone, I'm Steve Savant, and today we're broadcasting from Church on the Street, located at the Dream Center in the heart of Phoenix, Arizona. It's one of the top post-prison transition, detox, and rehab facilities for inmates, drug, and alcohol abuse. For more information on their prison ministries, rehabilitation services, weekly meetings, and special events, just hop out to their website at cotsphoenix.org. That's cotsphoenix.org. And hey, if you want to write me at my email address of the show, it's steve@180uturn.com. That's steve@180youturn. Today we're on our last day on 180, looking at the conversion story of Mark Zemrus. Now, Mark, when you think about, 2 years ago, God is not on your planet. Mm-hmm. He's not even in your orbit. No. And now all of a sudden, he is your all in all. He's consuming, right? Just think about that. The Bible means something to you.
Definitely.
When you're praying, God seems to talk to you.
Definitely.
The people around, there's brothers here that really know God.
And God speaks through them to me.
Through them to you.
Yes, sir.
To me, this is a 180-degree turn from your style and your life. And remember, honestly, I know you probably think you're old, but at 41, you're not even halfway through your life yet.
Hopefully not.
Given what's going on in your turn and everything like that. So, you're expecting, I was just thinking about this the other day. Jean Clement died. She's a French woman who died at 122 years, 164 days. She is the Guinness Book of World Records holder. Wow. We could see people like you, a majority of these people, hit 100 all day long.
Right.
Not just a little, all day long. So, I remember this famous poem given to me as a young brother when I first came to the Lord. Only one life, it'll soon be past. Only what's done for Christ will last.
Amen.
Well, if you got 40, 50 years ahead of you, you can make up, not only can the Lord make up for the time the locust ate,
Amen,
but you could, with his power and strength, make up for the time that was lost.
Definitely.
See, to me, that's the thing. And by the way, it's not just getting clean. It's not just coming here to be with brothers and everything else.
No. You're
learning, hey, I'm learning things about, hey, you are a dad. You're learning things about how am I going to be a dad to these boys, right? That's what the end game is, our relationship with the Father, so that we as fathers can have relationships with our sons. So I'm all into it. Okay, so Dream Center. Now, a lot of people don't know Dream Center. I know that's kind of a shock. They've been here forever and they had done such a great thing. But at Dream Center, that's the hotel facility, but inside the facility is Church on the Street. I've known Pastor Walt forever. Talk a little bit about how Pastor Walt, what he means to you, and how this ministry of Church on the Street ministers to people who the other churches have completely forgotten.
Well, let me just say that from CBI, which is a detox facility, 7 months ago, suggested because of an employee there is living here that worked there. They suggested this place. They made some calls, but first they want you to go to that. We have a Church on the Street's mission. It's basically a shelter on 40th Ave in Van Buren, where they wanted me to start off for 2 weeks to show that you wanted to come into the program here. So you go there, you kind of work on the property, you take care of some errands you got to run, and you do what you have to do. You do that 2 weeks. And you make your way. You fill out the application there, and you come here to the Dream Center.
Do some guys not make it? They can't even get through the first 2-week boot camp?
Some guys don't even make it through detox. Let's just be plain and simple about it. Maybe that's not even an option, but yes, a lot of guys even come here into the program, and after a couple of days realize, that's not what I was looking for. You've got to be ready. They want to compare this to a Christian boot camp. Things are kind of changing around here, but nonetheless, it's a discipleship program. So what I've learned is situations that happen is teaching me discipline. All these different things are happening that aren't a part of who I used to be.
I remember at St. Vincent's my matron of our dorm, a nun, used to say, if you don't discipline yourself, someone else will do it for you. Mm-hmm. Boy, how true is that?
That's very true. Not only from my parents, the teachers, Department of Corrections, Maricopa County Jail, Pinal County Sheriff's Office, the disciplining me. When I finally got here, I was done with all of that discipline, and God was truly disciplining me with his heart, showing me how much he loves me and loves us.
And you feel people. That affection.
Oh man, yes.
I mean, you definitely feel it. It's not just in your head.
For sure. It's a feeling.
Okay, so you went 2 weeks down in Van Buren and 40th. Then you said, okay, that you were really good. And they said, okay, now you're coming into this program.
Come here, unload my stuff, do a UA, do the intake. I'm clean, get a room. You sign a vow. Where it's 180 days, man. You vow that to God to complete this program. And look, honestly, to tell the truth, I didn't pray a vow. I didn't sign a vow for 180 days. But you know what? In the back of my mind, even though I didn't do that, God put it in my heart to just complete it anyways. I'm doing this for Him. I'm not doing this for anything or
You're almost done
else.
with this, right? On phase 1.
I graduate in 7 days.
7 days.
6 months.
By the time this plays out on our Friday show next week, he will have graduated. Oh, pretty cool.
I walk on June the 13th. If you want
just to be technical.
Down there, just to be technical, I walk on June the 13th in our Church in the Street Sunday evening service. Where we complete our syllabus. We do so many. You do 24 weeks worth of homework. You do 24 weeks with the Psalms and Proverbs, writing them out word for word. It's a lot of book work, and then you have memory verses. You've got 24 plus memory verses that you got to go and memorize, and you get signed off. That's to graduate with a gold sticker. But I'm not doing it to graduate with honors. I'm doing this literally for the Lord, because of what He's given me is so.
Did you ever think you were going to make the 180 days?
I've wanted to leave many times, especially with this new position.
Right. Yeah, it's easier when you're not in authority.
People want to. The guys here, yes, it's considered a leadership position. I am a residential assistant. That's a position here where we help new guys because of what we know. We sign for schedules. They have certain things and chores and things they have to do, and we just sign them in, and we just make sure that everybody's where they're supposed to be for chores and classes. And they might take it a certain way. I had to do it with my leader. It's a harsh thing to have people talk to you in a brash way, and we want to go, I'm out of here, man. It's almost like the bed bug. People compare it to a bed bug. A bed bug starts biting you, you want to go. But really, how big are your other problems compared to that little bed bug? You're going to let, my God is bigger than a bed bug. Amen. I serve a God that's greater than any bed bug, any minute little problem that I've had, a situation. But in those moments, it's intense.
And you stuck it out, and you're graduating in a week.
Definitely. Now,
there you have that's a phase 1. It's kind of a boot camp. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But phase 2, you'll be heading into that. What's that like?
Phase 2 is focused more on you getting into a ministry and dabbling in that, getting into a few classes. Let's back up. In phase 1, I become a captain of 27th Avenue and Indian School Outreach, where we're at the corner and we're preaching the word. We're passing out tracts, water, and meals. Michigan Trailer Park, where there's little kids and moms, and we do food boxes and a kids Bible study. So I captain both of those outreaches, man, and it's little by little these outreaches change your life because you get out of yourself. And God instills this love in you that you get to show these people that don't normally get it. And really, because you know what it's like to be on the streets and be at this area, this is like your peeps. Yeah, I mean, and that's what the good thing about the Church on the Streets Dream Center collaboration is. Church on the Streets, and so does Dream City Church Dream Center. They reach the lost. We all have different levels. People reach the street level, and they serve different needs. They find a need, you feel it, you find a hurt, you heal it, all those things. So Pastor Walt's mission is to reach just the misfits, the outcasts, the people, and then what happens is people get boosted up by God and they move up in levels.
I remember my first time. This is some years ago here at Church on the Street when we went out sharing, and I was stunned at the number of people who said that on the street, who their own identification was, I am a loser and I know it. Right. I am a loser and I know it. And the thought, just the mere thought that God could change you and you're no longer a loser and you could know it. you could know it, was a major leap for some of these people, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm always enthused about how people are changing all the time, and how people who used to be having their own problems are now out on the street helping people with their problems and introducing them to that. Now, there's a third phase in here too, right?
There's a third phase that lasts a year, and that is basically specifically ministry based. And now if your ministry at that point in time is to work, then that's your ministry. Some people have a skill and they tithe, and that's their ministry, right? It's to further the kingdom. Mm-hmm. They work, they give their 10% back to God, and they continue in that way. They might show up for outreaches, but in phase 3, you're specifically designed to focus on your ministries, which could be, a thrift store. It could be on the property. It could be maintenance. It could be outreach captains. It could be all these different things. But you're kind of finding your niche in the kingdom and how to serve the Lord, whether it be preaching, teaching, passing things out.
Now, let's say you found that and you spent that year doing that. Thrift store maintenance, whatever it is. Now it's done. There's some people that have stuck it out, a long time. They're way past phase 3.
Right. What happens there now is that we have a gentleman that came in to restructure the Dream Center, and Church on the Streets is not a bad thing. Church on the Streets still exists, but within this building, it's the Dream Center, Dream City Church. So we identify as that, and there's going to be a shift, a gentle, loving shift in the discipleship program. And there's going to be classes and courses. What they want is people to get upward and outward. Get upward and outward. Now, what's the point if they just aid and abet you having a room rent free, but you're just going hard in outreaches? What is that? What is that? How are you furthering not just yourself? We're talking about at that point you're just doing that. You have no self-care. So they want to teach people trades. And give people a way to care for themselves, more as they do. Because you have to. God cares for us, so we need to care for ourselves
there's some changes here afoot.
Very good. Okay. Very positive changes, yeah.
All right, so when these changes come now, a lot of people may not see them from the outside, an outsider like myself and so forth.
Right.
But the same central core issue of redemption to people who normally would never see the light of day. Nobody pays attention to the down and outers, the rejects of society.
At all levels.
At all levels.
At all levels.
By the way, just a little side note, at the DUI, I was at the DUI, my first time I went to the DUI center down in Florence.
Yeah.
The thing that stunned me the most is I had this image, it was a poor image by the way,
right.
And these are all going to be drunks on the street with flasks and, no job, no nothing. But a third of those people were attorneys, CPAs, people who got DUIs because they can't control their drinking.
Right.
So they have programs for all those kinds of people. And here, even if you have an alcohol problem, or you have a dope problem, or a codependency problem, and there's some shelter here for gals who have gotten into sex trafficking. God is doing stuff here in that area, codependence.
Yeah.
It's a big issue. It's a big issue.
Big.
So if you're saying, Steve, I didn't even know this existed, I just heard his story all this week. Some of his story is part of my story.
Yeah.
If God could fix Mark, could he fix me?
Yes.
If God could fix Steve, could he fix me?
For sure.
And that's kind of the tribute of Church on the Street, the Dream Center, City Dream, you said?
Dream City Church.
Dream City Church. Yeah, all those things are happening here, and to the glory of God. Now, my last question here for you is, if you had to kind of look into your future, God's got you now. What do you think you could do with Him in a co-partnership?
Oh man, a lot. What's happened already by just it's a simple. Can I give you guys out there a simple, and we make it so difficult? Submit and obey. And there are two words that's central to my mind because that's what I didn't want to do. I wanted to rebel and be disobedient, and that's what my life philosophy was. Co-partnership, partnership. I've got brothers here. I want to dabble in certain ministries. The sky is the limit, really. And if God is for me, who can be against me? Matthew 6:33. Seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well, and given to you. There's a lot of key words in there, but seek first. I would say first, just seek Him. Let me just read a line in the Bible. His love is endless. They call it agape love. This love knows no bounds, and He's waiting there like this. Just come on, come on. And it's hard because we got pride, ego, guilt, shame, anxiety, all these things that are not from God. That God is a God of decency and order, and God is love. It says, love thy neighbor as thyself. Love the Lord thy God with all your heart, all your mind, and all your soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. Man, it's the possibilities are endless.
Well, if you've been listening to his story and you say, Steve, I would really like to meet Mark Hague and come here. They have open meetings on Sunday, right? People can come here.
There's open church on Sunday service so far as it stands.
You could actually enjoy that if you say, Steve, I'm in really trouble, and you're on the street and you're seeing this somehow on the internet and you say, I got to go do that. You can get in touch with people here at the Dream Center and the Church on the Street. They will help you. Their arms are open. If you're getting out of jail, especially prison, they take you right then and there. You just bring the paperwork and they'll take you right in. Is that not so?
We have a resource center that if we can't take you like that, we have other resources. We have milestones with Pastor Pat Bianco, who's big in the penitentiary community, who will direct you if that's a change that they've made here. But there will be resources available no matter what, and not only that, but prayer, camaraderie, group.
Well, listen, if you're looking at any of the information we're talking about from Church on the Street or Dream Center, just remember you can go out to their website at cotsphoenix.org. That's cotsphoenix.org for any of their information on their prison ministries, their rehabilitation services, their weekly meetings, and any special events. So until next time, I'm Steve Savan, and remember, no one's outside the reach of God. No, not one.